Hello, this is Dr. David Bowman, and I am here to talk to you today about what lifestyle measures we can take during this pandemic that may reduce our inflammation, that may lead to the chronic diseases that are a factor in why some people are doing worse in this pandemic. So, in my previous video on COVID-19, chronic disease, and African Americans, I hypothesized that stress, poor diet, and lack of exercise will increase your baseline inflammation. This increases your risk of obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and heart disease. And then COVID 19 comes along and adds way more inflammation on top of the chronic inflammation that's already there. And that's why those people get sicker. So, where does some of that oxidative stress and inflammation come from? I like to call it the five S's: added sugars, salt, saturated fat, stress, and a sedentary lifestyle. That includes your processed drinks, your processed foods, your poultry, dairy, eggs. Those are the underlying yet modifiable factors that play a role in getting high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, etc. But what you say modifiable? No, it's not my fault that I get, these conditions. They run in my family. Well, it might be more of a problem that no one runs in your family, or exercise is not a routine thing that people are doing. People aren't necessarily passing on to you a healthy diet patterns. And so it might be more that your DNA, or less that your DNA is causing the problem, and more that your dinner is causing the problem. So, what can we do? So, the first thing is, I got to emphasize this. If we know that COVID 19 is killing African Americans at higher rates than everybody else, then we absolutely need to adhere closely to the social distancing principles, the mask wearing, the hand sanitizing, and things of that nature. Other things that we can do. One is to address the psychological stress constructively. So first, let's try to prevent the stress. Let's not procrastinate. Let's not wait until the very last minute to leave and then we're rushing. Let's focus on things that could be relieving stress, such as meditation, prayer, spirituality, exercise, including yoga. Those are things that are really powerful. Do strengthening exercises, go for a walk, do a dance party. Exercise is probably the most underutilized anti-anxiety and antidepressing modalities. And then laughter is really important. There's a proverb that says that a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries the bones. So go purposely look for a sitcom that you enjoy, or a comedy movie, or a stand-up comedy, or look at jokes. Purposely do that on to keep thinking about positivity. So there's a scripture that says, whatever is good, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report, think on these things. So in terms of our diet, dietary antioxidants are key as they are anti-inflammatory. So this is definitely related to fruits and vegetables in general. And of the fruits and vegetables, in specific, I want to emphasize the dark green leafy vegetables and the berries. So those are really, really helpful, and they have the most concentrated antioxidants. Strive to get at least 5 a day. If you're starting off at 0, getting 2 a day is a start. But ideally, we get to like 9 a day. And try to eat the rainbow in terms of colors. And by rainbow, I'm talking about, the colors of your fruits and vegetables, not about the colors in your Skittles or your M&Ms, right? The antioxidants help to boost your immune system to help you fight infection and fight disease. So some of the things you may want to consider buying during the pandemic more would be apples, oranges, carrots, purple cabbage, sweet potatoes, because they're inexpensive, they have a long shelf life, very high in antioxidants. And eating the skin is important. And I want to emphasize that because it's important to get the whole food and not just the juice to get the maximal benefits. So if you think about apple juice or apple sauce, you're getting the sugar and maybe some of the nutrients, but not the full complement of the antioxidants because you're not getting the skin. So the pulp of the apple, if you cut it open, leave it open to the air, it turns brown. That's because there aren't a lot of antioxidants in the pulp. The antioxidants are in the skin. So I want to emphasize getting the whole food, and also, primarily getting your vitamins from whole foods and not just from supplements. Herbs and spices are really good. They're not just tasty, but they're really good. So turmeric with some black pepper, ginger, garlic, onions. Nuts and seeds are really powerful as well for anti-inflammatory. So your walnuts and almonds, your regular seeds, but also your flax seeds, your ground flax seeds. Ground flax seeds are really important for it to be ground for it to have maximal benefits. So whole grains are much better than the refined grains or the like the white pastas and white breads. They don't have a lot of the antioxidants that the whole grain varieties would have. And then legumes are really important, like the chickpeas, lentils, and beans. They have a lot of fiber. Now, fiber is only found in the plant kingdom. So a plant-strong diet in this time period of the pandemic would be very helpful. Fiber helps to feed good bacteria in our gut, and they turn around and thank us by giving us anti-inflammatory compounds. Fiber also reduces cholesterol, which will help the other diseases that we mentioned. So not only is fiber found only in the plant kingdom, fiber is also lost when we process our foods. So you can double the amount of fiber you get by going from white rice to brown rice, or from white flour pasta to wheat pasta. So keep in mind, also stay hydrated with water, primarily, especially during this pandemic. But if you make some of these changes like adding fiber, you've got to have more water as well. And green tea also has lots of antioxidants. Coffee, unsweetened coffee, has a lot of antioxidants as well. So I've been using the word antioxidants a lot. I like to think of antioxidants as laser-focused ammunition to fight disease. So when people consume more dietary antioxidants, that helps them to fight off autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus. They also help to reduce the impact of those chronic diseases that we talked about earlier. And they also help to reduce the impact of the self-inflicted wounds that our immune system may cause. I want to emphasize that there haven't been studies I'm aware of, there have not been studies I'm aware of that have shown a direct correlation between increasing dietary antioxidants and reducing risk from death and disease. However, looking at it from a mechanism of disease process, they would likely help. If nothing else, they're going to help with the chronic diseases that put us at higher risk for death and disease from COVID-19. So some of the inexpensive substitutions that we might do, so instead of doing sugary cereals, do oatmeal, like not the packets of oatmeal, but like the actual oatmeal that's not full of sugar, oatmeal with berries, or doing a smoothie. If you do a smoothie, consider throwing in some ground flaxseed or some turmeric in that smoothie. So curry is a very, very nutritious and powerful antioxidant. So if you're going to curry, instead of currying chicken, curry your chickpeas. And that's another way of doing a great substitution. So instead of doing chips, do nuts instead of the chips. So if you're going to add ground turkey or ground beef to chili, instead you could add more chickpeas or more beans. Keep all the other seasonings the same, but just add more chickpeas or beans. Now, if you think these changes are really too hard, I get it. It's an adjustment. But I want you to consider this. Please be transformed by the renewing of your mind as to what food is. So decide, no longer am I going to eat to satisfy the 1% of my body that's my tongue. I'm now going to focus on the 99% of my body that will either reap the benefits or suffer the consequences of my dietary choices. There's another scripture that says that the power of life and death are in the tongue. A lot of times we think about that in terms of speech, but maybe that power of life and death are in our tongue's choice of food. So instead of having the tongue drive you to feed cravings that will leave your body more sick and more inflamed, have that tongue leads you to foods that are going to heal you and cause you to have life. So this is Dr. David Bowman. I hope you enjoyed our time together. God bless you, and God bless America. God bless this world. I really want this epidemic to stop.